Good afternoon and welcome to the Alex Urbina radio show. Today we're live in the KHTS studio in beautiful downtown Newhall, California. And I'm on the radio with my lovely co-host, Ellen Tunick. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Once again, this show's all about life coaching and how to create maximum value for yourself from a life coach or from the simple willingness just to be open to all possibilities. You know, when you're open to all possibilities, you start to see things you couldn't see before. And I believe that's the part of discovery. If you're, fixed, you have a fixed mindset and you only want to see it that way, you're going to continue to see it like that for the rest of your life. But if you're open and willing to see it, even if you don't see it yet, but say to yourself, I don't see it, but I would like to see it the way that you see it, then there's a possibility that all of a sudden your perspective shifts, you're able to see it, you have new awareness, now you have a personal breakthrough, and then you now are on your road to continuing to evolve as a human being. And the series is called Helping You Reach Your Full Potential. What I like to do is get into the gap and start having discussions and coaching a little bit, opening up possibilities for people.
Coaching.
Yeah, just to be able to see something you couldn't see before. If you walk away from the show able to see a new perspective, then you've grown a little bit. So what do you want to talk about today? What are we coaching?
Well, what we're coaching today is emotions. Obviously, we all have them, but I think we all have them differently, respond to them differently, act towards them differently. And so, it's been a pretty emotional week for me. My husband had hip replacement, and, it wasn't quite as easy as we had anticipated it being. And so I was thrown into a situation that was emotional. And my first reaction to it was to get edgy and angry and frustrated. That was my first response to it. By the time we got home, I had made a decision that I could choose to continue being angry and, frustrated, which I would end up taking it out on him, and he certainly didn't ask to have this done. Or I could jump in with both feet and choose to be 100% present and just help heal him. So in doing that, but I thought, I was just curious, why is my first response to get frustrated and kind of angry? And then on top of everything else, my daughter found out that her father-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. And so she's going through a lot of emotions, watching her dad have hip replacement and some side issues going on, and then her father-in-law, who she loves, and she literally is just in this pool of emotions and doesn't really know how to swim through it.
Yeah, this opens up now the possibility for us to really look and examine our relationship to emotions. A lot of times we don't really stop and go, what is my relationship to emotions, and what is the meaning of emotion? Like what's the meaning that I've given emotions? Some people see emotions as good. Some people see them as bad. Some people see them as right or wrong. You have to really look and examine what emotions mean to you. If you've decided that they're bad, well, then you're going to constantly not want to feel them, or you're going to choose more often than not to avoid them or stuff them. If you've decided that they are good for you, then you're going to learn how to embrace them. You're going to learn how to open up a space for you to feel them so that they run their course, so you can get through them quicker. So it really depends on the belief system that you've created when it comes to emotions and the relationship that you've created. If you created this a relationship where you've numbed yourself out from it, or when it feels too much or you can't handle it, you avoid it. So you really got to look at the meaning that you've given to emotions, and then you also got to look at the relationship that you've developed with emotions.
Ooh.
And so it changes now, right? When I kind of lay it out like that, now it opens up the possibility that you're actually choosing how to have an experience through the emotions. Are you embracing them, learning how to dance with them, spin them off, and send them on their way to the next partner? Or are you in resistance to them, not wanting to feel them, not avoiding feeling them, or numbing yourself so that you don't feel them? Now, I can share with you my experience of emotions and the things that I'm learning. What I'm learning to do is to create a new belief system around emotions. And I've decided for myself that emotions are a natural, organic process of feeling and connecting to whatever it is that's in front of me that I choose to experience. And I've decided that emotions are a healthy thing. I've chosen to release the fear of the emotions, and I've recreated a new relationship with the pain that comes through the emotions. So let's take pain, for example,
Okay.
right? When you're feeling pain, you're feeling lost, you're feeling confused, then all of a sudden now, if you have decided that pain is bad, then I'm not going to want to feel it anymore. If I've decided that pain is good for me and I've given a good reason for the pain, then I'm more open to receiving the pain, feeling the pain, and then letting it go without having it have any negative connotation to it. So then you're probably wondering, like, how can you choose to see pain as a good thing, right? Now, what if I chose to see pain as, every time I experience pain, like if you were going through something that I felt like it was something that I had no control over, or I wanted you to heal, quicker, and I had no control over that, and it was causing like this anxiety. It was causing this pain in my heart. If I allowed myself to experience that pain is there to teach me something about myself. What do you think it's there to teach me?
Teaches you your empathy and compassion.
It teaches me and reminds me that I'm a compassionate human being, that I care about other people.
And that other people matter.
That's right. Now, and they're valuable to me.
Right.
Now, if I didn't have that pain, what would that be teaching me?
That you were closed up, shut down, and that, people can just deal with it themselves.
Exactly. So do I want to be that loving, caring, compassionate human being, or do I want to be that shut down robot who has no empathy and no compassion for the suffering of other people? And you don't have to answer that. That's just a hypothetical question that as individuals, we have to decide how to answer that question. For me, I find joy and fulfillment and purpose in caring for other people, for having compassion for other people. It's reminding me of those painful moments that I've gone through. It's letting people know that I care about them, that I love them, that they're important to me, that they matter. So then I'm choosing to see now the pain as a gift. And so I'm not in resistance to the pain. I'm learning how to create a new relationship with it. So in theory, I'm now embracing the pain, dancing with the pain, twirling the pain, and then letting it go when it's no longer necessary. Now, I want you to imagine every time you go to the gym. So this is a shout out to my coach that when we get to the gym, and she has me do deep knee bends and lunges.
Pain.
So I'm feeling that soreness for about 3 or 4 days.
Right.
And I don't like it. And I don't know who does. There's a few people out there that actually start to learn how to enjoy it. But my coach tells me at a certain point, you're going to start learning how to accept it. You're going to start learning how to embrace it. And then you're going to have to, then you could possibly get to a point where you learn how to love it or enjoy it. I still haven't gotten to those stages yet, but it makes sense because when I talk about emotional pain, I can go there. When it comes to the physical pain or the soreness, I'm still working on that, getting it to that place where you can just learn how to just embrace the soreness, embrace the pain, because eventually by you working out those muscles, by you stretching those muscles, tearing them down,
you get healthier and healthier.
Yeah, you know that it's good for you. You've decided that it's good for you, or society tells you it's good for you. But you're the meaning maker, so you can tell yourself that feeling the pain or the loss of something and the pain that comes with it is good for you because it's reminding you that you're loving. It's reminding you that you care. It's a symbol for that person matters to you, and it's just part of a way that we communicate to each other.
It's interesting that so many people, myself included, grew up thinking that the word pain was a four-letter word, a bad thing, and so for so long, I thought it was easier to say I'm not dealing with that pain. I can choose not to deal with that pain, and I'm better off for it. But over time, as you start to wake up as a human being, I'm beginning to realize I actually want to I want to receive the pain. I want to, I want to feel it. It's not a bad thing. It's, I don't want to be afraid of it. I think there's a lot of fear. I know that, as Ron starts to heal, there's all sorts of different pains, and it frightens him and it scares him. But it's all part of the healing process. So my healing right now, it comes from more of an emotional perspective. His healing comes from more of a physical perspective, but they're similar in how you choose to respond to it.
When it's a temporary pain, like something that you're going through and it's going to be a few weeks, a few months, that it's temporary, it's kind of like in your mind you can go to a place where you make a decision where you just choose to embrace it, choose to accept it, choose to not numb it out, choose to not resist it. And then if you can flip that switch and embrace it, I believe that you can heal yourself quicker. And it works the opposite way. If you numb it, you resist it, if you complain about it, you actually cause the pain to stay longer. It's like you breathe life into it by resisting something. Have you ever heard the axiom, what you resist persists? So
Yes.
when you're resisting something, you're actually giving it more energy, and it's causing the pain to linger around longer and longer. When you choose to accept the pain, embrace the pain, and dance with the pain, it actually runs its course quicker. It's like a full song.
Huh.
Right? Now, would you rather dance with a nail in your foot for a whole song and just grind it out, or would you rather be dancing with that nail in your foot, constantly telling your dance partner how much it hurts, and that song becomes a 2 or 3 hour mega mix?
Wow. Yeah. I'll do the quick dance.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
let's just decide that, okay, it's there, it hurts, and I'm gonna embrace the 3-minute song, and we're just gonna dance it out. And I'm going to make this best dance possible with the pain. I'm going to bring the pain with me. We're going to dance. I'm going to put a smile on my face. And I'm going to be grateful that I'm in this moment here dancing with you, even with my pain. And then the song ends. And then now you can sit down, and then the throbbing starts to slowly go away. Then the pain diminishes.
Well, when you put yourself in that physical and emotional state, you actually have the ability to begin to heal it. Your body and your mind can heal.
Absolutely.
And so is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Is that when your mind and your body is in sync?
And your spirit.
And and you're, embracing, accepting, and you're going to dance through it, you're truly healing yourself.
Absolutely. It's when you get your head out of the way. And a head
That's
meaning,
a nice way of putting
yeah,
it.
your head, your mind, your ego, your fear. When you get all that out of the way, there's this natural phenomenon where we can just heal ourselves. It's just part of, our DNA. It's part of our wiring. It's part of the universe's plan. We just naturally heal. I think what gets in the way is we bring our mind into it, and then we start psychoanalyzing it. The fear comes in, and then we start the resistance, and I don't want this, I don't want that, why is it like that?
Right. Why me?
Yeah, then we just go into that, and
then we actually victim.
Oh my God, once we go on a roll with that, we're giving it more life, more energy, and we're wondering why it's taking us 3
Twice
months
as
to
long.
heal, 6 months to heal, 5 years to heal.
Yeah.
When we can literally heal ourselves in an
Half
instant.
the time.
We can literally heal ourselves in an instant, but we don't, because there's a lot of work that we still need to do within ourselves to get ourselves out of the way of the healing process to move through quicker.
And there's another piece to this whole thing for me, which is learning that there is no right, wrong, should have, could have in dealing with your emotions.
There
Is there?
there is, but only because you're deciding it.
Okay.
So I mean, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
But you're choosing it. So just think of it like every scenario you're in. Just visualize, like if we're in this video game and you have this these binoculars that you can see. So every scenario you're in the binoculars, you can see good, bad, right, wrong, should or shouldn't. And then in that video game, you come up upon a scenario, and then the video is asking, it's highlighting each one of those, saying which one are you going to choose. You got to choose one. This is a bad situation. I don't like it. Now, when you chose, it's a bad situation, I don't like it, now you go into resistance to what's happening, and then now you're going to pay the price for that. That doesn't mean you have to keep choosing that. When you have an awakening and realize you're the one choosing, and you can actually choose something different, which you shared with me a beautiful story of choosing something different in that moment. You can only choose different in that moment when you're awakened, when you're conscious, when you're aware, when you're self-analyzing, when you're checking in with yourself. If you haven't developed those abilities, you just choose out of habit. You're just used to being negative.
Reaction.
You're just used to being cynical. You're used to, and so that mindset just goes, this is a bad situation. It shouldn't be happening. And then you go into resistance, and then you suffer because you made those choices.
You really do suffer.
You suffer.
You don't think you do.
No. Well, no, people know that they're suffering. They won't admit that they're suffering.
That's what I'm saying.
They won't admit it, but
for years I never would admit that my choices made me suffer.
But that's because you didn't know there was something different.
Yeah.
When somebody explains to you something different, you go, wait a minute. And then you actually try it and have a different experience. You go, oh my God. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I didn't even know I could even make a different choice. So in that video game, if you're upon the same scenario and you go, okay, this is a good decision and it should be happening. How do I know it's good? Because I've chosen for it to be good. Even though the rest of the world's going, are you crazy? How can you say that this scenario is a good scenario? Well, I chose for it to be good, and it should be happening because it's actually happening.
It's real.
So because it's actually happening, then it should be happening. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. So if I chose for it to be happening because it's really happening, and there's a learning lesson in there for me, then it's actually a good thing. Most people don't like to even look at certain scenarios to see what the learning lesson is.
They run right past them.
Well,
ignore them.
Here's an example. If let's say somebody walked in the studio right now, sat down, and was sharing with me whatever struggle they're going through. And I said, what do you think the learning lesson is in it? In that moment, they can't even see a learning lesson because they're in the struggle. They would probably be upset at me because I even asked that question. Like most people don't want to stop and look at whatever scenario they're at and try to find a learning lesson. It's not until a week later, a month later, 10 years later, you can look back and go, well, what did I learn from that? But in the moment, you don't want to look for no learning lesson. You want to try to fix it. You want to be the victim to it. You want to try to blame someone else. There's a whole bunch of other things that are going on in the moment that you're not trying to find the learning lesson. But what if you trained yourself to see all things, good or bad, as a learning lesson? There's something here for me to learn. I can't pay my light bill. They're going to shut it off tomorrow morning. It's midnight. I'm probably going to wake up, not going to have no electricity. What's the learning lesson in this? Most people don't stop and look to see what the learning lesson is. We're in reactive. We're in now the fear's coming up. We're panicking, and so.
Well, we immobilize ourselves when we get into that mode.
Shut down.
We totally shut down.
Yep.
And the mind doesn't even generate a thought. It's just bad, 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 bad. The other thing that plays into all of this is, because I know I had a long conversation with my daughter, is she thinks that she should feel a certain way about something. And I tried to explain to her, there is no should. You know, can you just put yourself in your present, just in your present, and allow whatever comes up to come up? But I find with a lot of people I know, there's kind of this, you know, this should way of feeling and having emotions. I should have that emotion, and based on that emotion, I should do this. And personally, I'm finding out that none of that's real, actually, at least not for me right now.
Let's say you're numb and you haven't really been feeling your emotions for a long time, or been feeling them to a certain degree, and something tragic happens in your life and you just kind of go to that numbed place. Sometimes we just shut down or we check out. It's a survival mechanism. But everyone else around you is feeling sad and they're crying, and you've numbed, or you've checked out, or you just feel blank or neutral. And you're looking around going, how come I can't feel the sadness that everyone else is feeling? So then you start comparing yourself. Instead of honoring that whatever you're feeling is okay, that we all feel in different ways. We all experience different emotions for different reasons.
So even not feeling is feeling.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's like
right?
It's like not choosing is still choosing. You're still choosing. If you're not feeling something, you're choosing to feel the numbness. You're still not feeling something. But either way, the question I want to throw out is why would anybody make themselves bad and wrong because they're not feeling something that they think they should compared to everyone else? We have to start learning how to honor all things about us, even when it doesn't look like we've decided that it should look.
It doesn't conform.
That's right. So, and I think that I would hope and I would invite people to allow themselves to experience whatever they're feeling, but also learn how to be emotionally honest, and start to really look deeper and go, yeah, how come I'm not feeling the sadness that they're feeling? Not from a bad and wrong or a comparative, just to check in, try to figure out why. Because maybe later on, after you've gone through that process, you can look back and go, wow, maybe I was afraid. Maybe I was heartbroken. Maybe there were some things that I was, or here's another possibility. Maybe I didn't even know how to feel what I was feeling. And that's a common thing. A lot of times when I work with people, I ask them, how do you feel? And they're like, I don't know how I feel. And then when I throw out 3 or 4 possibilities, they go, yeah, that one, whichever one it landed on.
Wow.
So you got to be open to the possibility that we don't even know how to make sense of what we're feeling until you have somebody to sit down and have discussion with you and talk to you about it, and then kind of walk you down that road. And then you start to go, you know what? Yeah, I'm feeling more like that. I think that's what it is. So sometimes trying to figure out what our emotions are is a process that we got to go down that road to try to discover what it is, to make sense of it. But it's a good discussion. We come back, we'll kind of dive in a little deeper about how to deal with our emotions, how to manage them, how to make sense of them, and then we'll wrap up the show. We got to take a short break. We come back, we'll take it to a whole nother level. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
It's the Child and Family Center's premier fundraising event, Taste of the Town, Sunday, May 5th at Innovation Park. Enjoy the culinary magic of 40 of the area's best restaurants. For more information, go to tasteofthetown.com.
The city of Santa Clarita has so much going on this year. Be on the lookout for amazing events happening throughout the year, including the Cowboy Festival, concerts in the park, Thursdays at New Hall, and the Santa Clarita Marathon. There are also a number of fun activities and things to do year-round, including outdoor recreation, hiking and bike trails, adult classes, art exhibits, youth sports programs, and more. You can even sign up to be a volunteer. Learn more at santa-clarita.com.
La Esmeralda is home to truly authentic Mexican food. This family-owned restaurant prides itself on its fresh-to-order menu. Even the tortillas are made in-house. If you have a taste for sizzling fajitas, flautas, or menudo, you have to try La Esmeralda's Mexican and Seafood Restaurant. Dine in or order out for the most authentic Mexican food Santa Clarita has to offer. Their Taco Tuesdays, it'll turn you into a regular. La Esmeralda on Bouquet at Haskell.
Questions about your water bill? SCV Water is available to answer your questions and help you understand your water bill. They can provide the tips and tools you need to use water more efficiently. Visit yourscvwater.com to manage your account and to pay your bill. Their customer service representatives look forward to helping you. That's yourscvwater.com.
Hometown, your hometown station.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show. Today, we're talking about how to deal with your emotions. And I want to preface it with this. I want to invite you to not even consider how to deal with your emotions. I want you to ask yourself, am I willing to just experience them and have the courage to experience them, embrace them, honor them, and then try to find the meaning of the emotion. Like, what does it mean to me? What's the purpose of me having the sadness? Can the sadness be a reminder that that I care about the other person who's going through this? Or can the sadness be a representation of that I'm hurt? Or can the sadness be a representation of the fear that's coming up for me? So I want you to start honoring your emotions if you choose to, right? It's more of a mindset or a belief that all emotions are healthy. All emotions are designed for us to heal ourselves if we give ourselves permission to fully experience them. I'm starting to create evidence that people don't fully experience their emotions, because I remember as a kid when I was little and I started to have some emotions come up, whether I was feeling a sad moment or pain. And I remember some of the elders in my family either didn't know how to deal with it, were uncomfortable with it, or it just bothered them. I remember hearing the, hey, like, settle down. Like, that's enough now. I remember getting the implication that it wasn't okay to keep crying, right? And it could be like even a cultural thing, like having Hispanic male role models around you going, hey, stop being a baby.
Right.
It could be any, or toughen up or man up, like this macho thing. But whatever it is, coming from whichever external source that's helping you co-create this belief that it's not okay to cry or feel my emotions. Once you create that belief, you now have created a rule for yourself when it comes to emotions. And the rule means, or the rule says, that it's not okay to feel them fully. So what we do is we feel 3/4 of it. And then as we get older, we get really good at mastering not feeling our emotions. So then we only feel half of it, and then 1/3 of it, to the point where you're so numbed out that you feel no emotions at all.
Well,
and that's the question I want to ask you is, do you want to be robotic and not feel emotions? Or do you want to learn how to create a new relationship with your emotions and feel them in a healthy way?
I don't even want to manage them. I just want to have them.
That's great. That's what I'm trying to tell you
Yeah.
is, let's not think of how to deal with your emotions or how to manage your emotions. Let's just learn how to feel them in a healthy way. Give ourselves permission to experience them fully.
And that, for me, if I not study this, but if I can incorporate not trying to manage my emotions, literally just letting them come in, there's a two-pronged thing to this, is that now I can allow the people that I love, my husband, my partner, my kids, whatever, I don't have to manage their emotions either.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Once you learn how to not manage yours, then it gives you permission to go, then I don't need to manage anyone's, because you're creating a new belief system.
Yes, and that's big for me.
Yeah, the new belief system is Emotions are a healthy thing, right? If you choose that one.
And don't label them.
They're not
good, bad.
That's right. They just are what they are.
Right.
They're just a natural phenomenon that is part of our growth process. And who am I to say an emotion is good or bad for somebody else or decide it for them? I'm going to let my daughter decide for herself. I'm going to let my son or my husband or my sister, I'm going to let them decide what the emotion means, if it's good, bad, right, or wrong. That's not my journey.
Right.
So why would I project my own
we
stuff
fix
onto
things.
that? Who wants to fix things? Because you said we like you got a mouse in your pocket.
I know. No.
Even though majority of human beings on the planet, they operate from, I need to make it better.
Right.
I need you to not cry. I need you to heal faster so I feel better about myself. Imagine that. Imagine you come in, you're heartbroken, and I'm on you like a rat on cheese going, please feel better. Like it's going to be okay. And I'm comforting you because there's this unconscious need for me not to have you be in pain anymore. Because I've decided that pain is what? Is bad.
Yeah.
So if I've decided pain is bad, then I don't want
to project that.
Yeah, I don't want
me.
you to be in pain
Right.
and in misery for 3 months.
Because we've labeled it
Or being heartbroken for 6
Yeah.
months or a year. Like, I'm going to choose to honor your process. I'm going to choose to honor your own feelings and your own emotions and your own journey, and you get to figure that out.
And I so want to do this in my, in Ron's recovery, whatever it is he feels, because I still find myself, if he's in has pain, I want to go and fix it, put your leg up, but I want to just be there and go, oh, there's pain, okay, but allow him to do what he needs to do and not have me tell him what he needs to do.
Okay, I like that. However, you would have to stop mothering him. Because when you said out loud, like telling him how to relieve the pain, instantly I thought of the mom.
Absolutely.
It's the mother in all of us, right? Even
that nurturing mother.
Even guys have the motherly, that nurture, the female nurturing part of us that's deep within us. But we just want to nurture them. We want them to feel better. So it's a part we want to come in and fix it. So instead of going in and rushing in there to do that, I'm not saying that you can't be ready to assist him and do that if he asks.
Right.
But don't come in and just
do
it for him. So now, what would it look like if you said, honey, what do you need from me?
Oh, I love that. What do you need
What
from me?
do you need from me? How can I support you?
Right.
And then let him say, I need you to help me get this pain out of here. All right,
yeah, can you get me an ice pack?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Or even if he doesn't have the solution, just says, I need you to help me with this pain. What are your thoughts? Then you can give some insight.
Okay.
Well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And then now he's inviting you in to be in partnership with collaborating on
collaborative
how to relieve the pain. But if you just go in there because he's limping and gimping and you go, here, let me you just jump into let me fix this for you.
Yeah.
Then it seems like it becomes your burden.
Well, I definitely
or at least
making it my burden.
Or at least a heavy load to carry.
Yeah.
Then that's where resentment comes in. Because if you decide it's your burden, it's your load, and you just keep doing it.
Those are all my choices.
Yeah, but if you don't realize that you're choosing it, if you're unconsciously choosing it, not realizing you're choosing it, you're just doing it because that's in your DNA. It's that motherly part of you. But later on, you can start to resent them because it's been a heavy load that I took on.
Right.
Or you can say you probably won't even say I took it on. It was more like it was
given to me.
Yeah. Because I married you, it was this heavy burden that I carry because I'm with you, right? Yeah. No, but like you have to really look at that everything you're doing, you're choosing it. So you're choosing to help him, you're choosing to fix it, you're choosing it. So to have resentment towards him is unwarranted.
Right.
You need to look at yourself and go, hey, I chose that. Or I could choose not to.
Or I can choose to just do it differently.
Yeah. Or choose to do it from a different place.
Right.
some people will try to help somebody who's struggling through pain or any kind of emotion, and we do it from the place of, I have to fix it. I need to do this. They have no one else, so who else is going to do it? Instead of, no, I'm just doing it because they matter to me.
Right.
Because I care. Because it's what I'm about.
Well, and also, their pain doesn't need to be your pain. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when I see him in pain, I don't have to. God, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I feel pain when he's in pain, and that's what makes me want to fix it.
Because you don't want to feel the pain.
Yes, I don't want to see him in pain.
Why? Because
I've labeled that bad.
That's right.
Yes, this is huge for me.
Yeah, you've labeled pain as a bad thing.
Something that is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Sadness is something that is not good. What
about struggle? Is struggle good or bad?
Well, I've reframed that to be more positive. Struggle is actually a positive thing because you grow if you're struggling.
Okay, so you redefine struggle.
Yes.
So if you can redefine struggle, you can redefine
I can
pain.
redefine pain.
Yeah. It's just a reframing of it.
Yeah.
Once you create a new framework for it that's empowering, then it doesn't run you anymore. You can be freed up to choose to engage or not engage. But right now, it seems like you're not choosing to engage. It's more like I have to. Like I have to get in and fix it for him, rather than I get to get in and support him in it.
I'm moving that around. I find old beliefs and old behaviors, they definitely pop back in. But when they do pop back in, I know they're popping back in now. I'm aware that they are. And I can take a step back and go, what do you want to do with this? Do you want to go down this road or do you want to go down this road?
Yeah, what I love about your process now is that you're starting to, reflect and be in the question. And so I can imagine some of the questions are, all right, Ellen, what kind of a wife are you being if you go this way or if you go that way, right? Like you're really reflecting in as the kind of legacy you want to leave behind, the woman that you want to be known for, the type of modeling you want to be, those kinds of things. You're really now mindful of it,
yes.
Which is helping you make higher choices for yourself. It's helping you reframe certain situations and certain choices so that it empowers you rather than disempowers you.
And I'm really cognizant of giving people space to be who they are, instead of trying to define that for them. That like with my grandchildren, giving them the space just to be, not telling them how, when, why, where, based on all of my experiences, but literally allowing them to be whoever they are in that moment, because it'll change in 60 seconds.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Now, how do you take that same framework into
Yes.
your relationship with your husband?
Right.
How do I create that space for you to be in pain, to be struggling with trying to figure out how to deal with whatever he's dealing with, right? And not take it on as your burden, as your heaviness. It's funny because last week we did a show about, talking about Tenglish, right?
Loved it.
And the things that the kids said they really needed from their parents.
Yes.
And one of the things that just resonated with me is the part where the kids say, I need you when I'm beating myself up to not dogpile on me and beat me up too.
Yes.
Because when I'm beating myself up, I'm looking up to see you that's not in the mode that I'm in, standing on the outside with a hand that I can grab to pull me out. But if you're in a hole with me, then there's no hope. So I visualize your husband who's in pain, and he's looking up at you, and if you're in the hole with him, he's looking up, and she goes, where is she at?
Yeah.
I need Florence Nightingale to pull me
Right.
out, and you're not there. And he looks and goes, "What are you doing in here?"
Yeah.
Now you're in there with him.
Right.
So in those,
And then you're both trying to climb
yeah,
out.
exactly. And sometimes what people need is for us to not go down that rabbit hole with them, and to separate ourselves from the psychological place that they're at, and they need to look up and find some hope. If I can look up at you
And see light.
yeah, and see a smile on your face, to see you're neutral, that then I can kind of go, all right, there's hope for me to get to where you're at.
Yes.
It reminds me of when my dad was dying with cancer when I was younger, probably about 12 to 14 years ago.
Time flies.
It does. And I remember, me and my mom and our family had really just kind of committed to help him get through that process. And it was a long 8 months, and it was rigorous, right? And one night we were just stir crazy, me and my mom, and we're laughing and laughing, and my dad's in pain. And he looks up, he gives us these eyeballs, right? He gives us that look, and we both look at him like, oh my God, we're going to get scolded because
We're laughing.
yeah,
and
he's in pain. And he looks at us and he goes, man, he goes, hearing you guys laugh, just reminds me that the pain's not that bad. And that's it's a glimpse of when somebody's struggling in pain, they don't want to see you in pain. They need to see, they need you to put that face on, like, hey, everything's going to be good. Hey, you got this. To give them encouragement, to be the strong,
It's that spoonful of sugar.
to be that strong one that they need to rely on.
Right.
Because if they're breaking down and then you're breaking down, then
There's no
then
hope.
they look around and go, who else is
Well,
up
they
there to
lose
pull?
hope.
That's right.
And there has to be hope and faith when
Yeah.
you heal.
However, most of us, we fake it until we make it. So when they're down, we put on that brave face, but inside we're falling apart. And we're going to do that the best we can until we learn how to separate ourselves organically and authentically, to where we free ourselves up to go, look, I know you're in pain. It hurts me too. I'm heartbroken. However, one of us needs to be at a certain place, and then everything's going to be okay. And so
Right.
you just got to go the opposite
We're gonna
direction.
choose me right now.
Yeah, and be the light for them, so that they could, when they get to the other end, look up and go, man, thank you for being that light for me. Thank you for constantly showing me that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And he's had physical therapy, and I don't know, there's just been like this new way of me responding to him. And I was telling him, God, I'm so proud of you. Look how hard you're working. You're really doing well. It feels really good to honor what he's doing and what he's going through, and not making it about me.
I love it. So as we head out to the commercial, I want to remind you, let's not deal with pain, manage pain. Let's give ourselves permission to experience it, whatever emotion's coming up, honor it, learn from it, dance with it, spin it, let it go, and then move on to what's next. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Santa Clarita, bedbugs are taking over our city. They've invaded our homes, our businesses, and most importantly, our sleep. If you have suspicious bites that appear nightly, or have a bug that you need ID'd, your best option is to make one call to All Pro. We offer a 100% guarantee that your bedbug issues will be solved with heat in one treatment. No need to tent or spray your house with chemicals. Heat is all you need. Call 661-298-2200 or text me a bug picture to 661-645-0540. It's time to sleep tight again, STV.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome to the Alex Urbina radio show. The following is paid programming and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show. Today we're talking about emotions. We're not going to put dealing with your emotions or managing your emotions in there, even though we probably titled it like that on Facebook. But it's really to get you to tune in to try to learn more about emotions. And instead of, when you're dealing with and you're managing, there's a part of you that it implies you're in control of them and you're trying to muscle them around, which puts some resistance in there.
Kind of negates the whole
process. Yeah. Instead of honoring that they're here, experiencing them fully, allowing the goodies that come from your emotions to heal you or to remind you of who you are, or what you're about, or what's important to you, what matters, and then freeing yourself up to move on to what's next, like what's next in my life. We were on a break. You were sharing with me something that was pretty profound, and I would love for you to share it now with the listeners.
Sure. A year and a half ago, had this this hip replacement thing happened. I would have been in a place where, oh my gosh, one more thing we have to deal with, one more thing that, that I've got to contend with. And this, as I go through this experience with my husband, with this hip replacement, I really believe that it's actually a gift. I've been given a gift to love him more openly. I've been given a gift to help him heal. I've been given a gift to get closer to him. It's just, it's actually going to be and is a wonderful, loving, and kind experience, which I wouldn't have guessed that a year ago.
Yeah, and it's amazing how your perspective shifts when you're really mindful and you're aware and you're practicing how to look at yourself and challenge some old beliefs and old conditioning and challenging some of the fears that come up on a daily basis and really looking at it and go, why am I afraid?
Yeah.
And do I need to be afraid? And if not, then why am I choosing to be afraid? And then there's a powerful moment that happens when you cause a shift in your experience where you go, well, if I don't need to be afraid, then I'm going to choose to not be.
Not be afraid.
And then you shift into a different come from.
And the other thing is in my love and gifting to my partner, support and healing, the response has been amazing. I know he feels loved and cared for, because that's how he's responding, with love and gratitude and gratefulness for having me as a partner. So it's been a gift for him too, I think. Can't speak for him, but
yeah, you're going to have to let him decide for that for himself.
Sorry, honey. But it has been a beautiful gift for me.
That's awesome. I wanted to make sure that the listeners don't hear that I'm implying that you shouldn't have fear when it comes to dealing with difficult situations, because you get to honor all feelings. So if the fear is coming up, you get to be afraid.
Totally fine.
Being afraid is there to teach us something too. And I'm, huge person who will stand behind constantly reminding people to be emotionally honest with whatever you're feeling.
Whatever it is.
A lot of people aren't emotionally honest. What they do is they will ignore reflecting on what they're really feeling and then sharing that with someone. That's called vulnerability. So, for example, if someone goes, hey, are you okay? And you go, I'm fine. And that person knows, even in your tone, it's like, I know you're not fine. And they'll come around again and go, seriously, honey, what's the matter? And you go, no, I'm good. What your spouse or what your lover or the person you've shared your life with, what they really want from you is just to be honest and go, you know what, honey, I'm afraid. You know what, this scares me. That would cause you to be vulnerable. When you're vulnerable, you open your walls, you let that person in to know that you're human and that you're authentic. But when you put up that wall and you go, everything's fine, you're not being emotionally honest. And as human beings, we want you to be honest with us because it lets us know that you trust us with that fear, that you trust us with letting us know that you're feeling that.
And then that person gets to be honest and vulnerable back.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to thank you for sharing this beautiful conversation. I learned a lot.
Thank you. I learned a lot too.
Just brainstorming and opening up possibilities to redefine emotions. That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us right here on the Alex Urbina Radio Show on your hometown station, KHTS.
She's one of country music's most beloved artists.